Roll call.
Day 22, Thursday, February 9th, 2023. Anderson? Here. Baldwin? Barlow? Here. Beitman? Here. Boner? Here. Bouchard? Here. Brennan? Here. Case? Present. Cooper? Here. Dockstetter? Here. Ellis? Present. French? Here. Furphy? Here. Garou? Here. Hicks? Here. Hutchings? Here. Ide? Here. Jones? Here. Kinski? Here. Kolb? Present. Landon? Here. Larson? Here. McEwen? Here. Nethercott? Pappas? Here. Rothfuss? Here. Salazar? Here. Schuler? Here. Scott? Here. Steinmetz? Here. Baldwin?
Excused.
Mr. President, excused. President Driscoll.
Here.
Mr. President, 30 present, 1 excused.
Prayer by Reverend Mark Moss, King of Glory Lutheran Church. I think I'd know it after today.
Thank you for making me feel so welcome. It's been an honor. Let us bow our heads in prayer. Lord God, Heavenly Father, through your word, you tell us of the gifts of the Spirit, which are love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. May your Spirit, gracious Father, be evident among these legislators this day and each day in their dealings with each other and for the good of the people of Wyoming. May your blessing be evident among them as they deliberate, and may your wisdom and integrity reign among those gathered here. Strengthen and encourage these legislatures for the days before them. Bless their families at this time as they spend this time away from them doing this important work. Grace their loved ones with understanding and peace during these days, as you truly are the God who brings to us that love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Through Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. Amen.
Brennan, would you lead us in the pledge, please?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh. Reverend, don't leave. I've got to get a gift for you before you leave. I don't have one here. So. Reading, correction, and approval of journal.
Mr. President, your journal committee reports that the journal of February 8, 2023 has been read and recommends it be approved. Senator Larson, chairman.
Are there any objections? Being none, reports adopted. Doctor of the Day, Rob Monger, MD from Cheyenne, and we have 3 WWAMI students here, Jacob Kennedy from Cheyenne and Taylor Thompson from Cody, Brett Andrew from Casper. Can you guys come up here and get it? Come on in, you can enter the floor, welcome. Does one of your WWAMI students want to come say a couple words? All right. Well, there we go. Yeah. So we're proud as heck of WWAMI, and we'd like to just say a couple words about what you think of the program. And not too long.
Yeah, no. Hey, first of all, thank you for having us, and we're honored to be here. And thank you for all the work you do for the state of Wyoming, predominantly for giving students like us a chance to attend a medical school in our home state where we want to be and where we're proud to serve patients. So yeah, again, thanks for having us today. Thank you.
Here, here. Thank you. Nurse of the Day, Darcy Cowdron, registered nurse, county nurse manager for Converse and Niobrara counties. Is she here somewhere? It's not every day we get the Converse Niobrara people up here, so. Today in Wyoming history, first public school is established in Cheyenne with 100 students, 1868. This was not a charter school. Leaders are made, they're not born. They're made by hard effort, which is the price which all of us must pay to achieve any goal that is worthwhile. Anybody know who said that? That would be Coach Vince Lombardi. So. Reports from standing committees.
February 8, 2023. Mr. President, your committee number 8, Transportation, Highways, and Military Affairs, to whom was referred House Bill 160 engrossed, driver's license veterans designation, replacing DD Form 214. Respectfully report same back to the Senate with a recommendation that it do pass. Ayes, Senators Boner, Brennan, Furphy, Kolb, and Pappas. Senator Boner, Chairman. February 8, 2023, Mr. President, your committee number 8, Transportation, Highways, and Military Affairs, to whom was referred House Bill 57, Armed Forces Amendments. Respectfully report same back to the Senate with a recommendation that it do pass amended. Ayes, Senators Boner, Brennan, Furphy, Kolb, and Pappas. Senator Boner, Chairman.
Messages from the House.
From the House of Representatives, message number 292, February 8, 2023. Mr. President, House Bill 208, School Foundation Program Reserve Account Investments, passed the House on third reading. Ayes 58, noes 4. Message number 280, February 8, 2023. Mr. President, the following bills passed the House on third reading in an amended form by the votes indicated. House Bill 98, Property Tax Homeowners Exemption, ayes 46, noes 15, excused 1. Message number 281, February 8, 2023. House Bill number 108, Sale of THC vaping devices and edibles to minors prohibited, ayes 55, noes 5, excused 2. Message number 284, February 8, 2023, House Bill 152, Life is a Human Right Act, ayes 46, noes 16. Message number 285, February 8, 2023, House Bill number 154, Permanent Vehicle Registration, ayes 39, noes 23. Message number 287, February 8, 2023, House Bill 195, American Rescue Plan Act Appropriations Amendments, ayes 38, noes 24. Message number 288, February 8, 2023, House Bill number 270, Improvement and Service Districts Limitations, ayes 34, noes 27. Message number 298, February 8, 2023, House Bill 89, State Investment Returns Adequate Reserve Funding, ayes 56, noes 6. Message number 290, February 8, 2023, House Bill number 118, Volunteer Firefighter Pension Funding, ayes 48, noes 14. Message number 291, February 8, 2023, House Bill number 276, Shed Antlers and Horns Permit, ayes 39, noes 23. From the House of Representatives, message number 283, February 8, 2023. Mr. President, the following bills failed to pass the House third reading by the votes indicated. House Bill number 143, Health Mandates, CDC and WHO Jurisdiction in Wyoming, ayes 29, noes 32, excused 1. Message number 286, February 8, 2023, House Bill 164, Legal Notice Publication on Websites, ayes 31, noes 31. Message number 293, February 8, 2023, House Joint Resolution 2, Constitutional Amendment, Residential Property Class, ayes 37, noes 25. Signed, Katie Talbot, House Chief Clerk.
Kinski, we have a report from Appropriations Committee on. Chairman Kinski, do you have a report from the committee on what? Very good. My bad.
I think that's at the conclusion of third reading of the other bills.
It's Randy has it. I'm sorry. It's my bad.
Mr. President, Committee Number 2, Appropriations, reviewed House Bill 1 pursuant to Joint Rule 14-1E. The following lists are provided. Dispensing with further reading. Senator Kinski, Chairman.
In accordance with Joint Rule 14-1F, House Bill 1 is referred directly to third reading. Thank you. Bills on second reading. Majority Floor Leader Hicks.
Mr. President, I'm going to make a little explanation before I make a request, but yesterday Senator Scott asked that Senate File 50 be laid back. We can't leave a Senate file stranded on third reading. We have to take an action on that, Mr. Chairman. So to facilitate what Senator Scott was trying to accomplish.
Majority Floor Leader,
Yes,
we need the motion in third reading
in third reading.
when we're through.
All right, we'll make that motion in third reading.
Sorry,
Mr. President.
we're not coordinated very good today.
All right.
My bad, not yours. Bills on second reading. House Bill 9, second reading of the House Bill.
House Bill 9, engrossed. Juvenile Courts Concurrent Jurisdiction Clarification.
House Bill 9 having been read two separate times. The question is, shall the bill be heard a third time? Hearing no objection is so ordered. House Bill 13, second reading of the House Bill.
House Bill 13, Office of Guardian Ad Litem Program References.
House Bill 13 having been read two separate times. The question is, shall the bill be read a third time? Hearing no objection, it is so ordered. House Bill 14, second reading of the House Bill.
House Bill 14, Civil Case Filing Fees Amendments.
House Bill 14 having been read two separate times. The question is, shall the bill be read a third time? Hearing no objection, it is so ordered. House Bill 16, second reading of the House Bill.
House Bill 16, engrossed. State Land Leasing Improvements.
House Bill 16 having been read two separate times. The question is, shall the bill be read a third time? Hearing no objection, is so ordered. House Bill 18, second reading of the House Bill.
House Bill 18, Missing Person Alert Systems.
House Bill 18 having been read two separate times. The question is, shall the bill be read a third time? Hearing no objection, it is so ordered. House Bill 19, second reading of the House Bill.
House Bill 19, State Indian Child Welfare Act Task Force.
House Bill 19 having been read two separate times. The question is, shall the bill be read a third time? Hearing no objection, is so ordered. House Bill 20, second reading of the House Bill.
House Bill 20, engrossed. Land Exchanges Notice.
House Bill 20 having been read two separate times. The question is, shall the bill be read a third time? Hearing no objection, it is so ordered. House Bill 26, third reading of the House Bill.
House Bill 26, School Facilities Appropriations.
House Bill 26 having been read two separate times. The question is, shall the bill be read a third time? Hearing no objection, is so ordered. House Bill 61, third reading of the House Bill.
House Bill 61, engrossed. Source Material Associated with Mining Agreement.
House Bill 61 having been read two separate times. The question is, shall the bill be read a third time? Hearing no objection, is so ordered. House Bill 70, second reading of the House Bill.
House Bill 70, Definition of Home-Based Educational Program.
House Bill 70 having been read two separate times. The question is, shall the bill be read a third time? Hearing no objection, is so ordered. House Bill 81, second reading of the House Bill.
House Bill 181, engrossed. Online Sports Wagering Amendments.
House Bill 81 having been read, 181 having been read two separate times. The question is, shall the bill be read a third time? Hearing no objection, it is so ordered. Bills on third reading and final passage. Mr. Majority Floor Leader, do you have a consent list?
Yeah, someplace. Mr. President, I do have a consent list. I move House Bill 10, County Officers Bond Amounts and surety requirements. House Bill 12, presumptive child support amounts, updated tables. House Bill 24, state investments, compensation and relocation amendments. House Bill 28, community college capital construction. House Bill 29, community college funding, distance education credit hours. House Bill 35, daycare certification requirement amendments. House Bill 39, verifying the veteran designation on Wyoming driver's licenses. House Bill 41, lightweight trailers, permanent registration. House Bill 45, peace officer retirement and rehiring. House Bill 50, solid waste and transfer program funding. House Bill 51, legislator constituent service allowance. House Bill 69, coal-fired facilities closure litigation funding amendments. House Bill 82, defendant mental illness examination amendments. House Bill 97, Chancery Court jurisdiction amendments. House Bill 104, hunting of predatory animals amendments. House Bill 111, endangering children, fentanyl. House Bill 112, theft, penalty for fifth or subsequent offense. Mr. Chairman, that is your consent list.
Thank you. Would anyone like any of these removed from the list? Senator Landon.
Mr. President, absent objection, I would ask that House Bill 104, and 104 is the hunting of predatory animals amendments, if that could be laid back for one day, please.
It's removed from the list?
Oh, remove it from the,
Yes, sir. It's been removed. You can make
Thank
the
you.
motion, Matt. Would anyone else like anything else removed from the list? Having been read 3 separate times, the question is, shall these bills pass the Senate? House Bill 10, county officers, bond amounts and surety requirement. House Bill 12, presumptive child support amounts, updated tables. House Bill 24, state investments, compensation and relocation amendments. House Bill 28, community college capital construction. House Bill 29, community college funding, distance education credit hours. House Bill 35, daycare certification requirement amendments. House Bill 39, verifying the veteran designation on a Wyoming driver's license. House Bill 41, lightweight trailers, permanent registration. House Bill 45, peace officer retirement and rehiring. House Bill 50, solid waste cease and transfer program funding. House Bill 51, legislator constituent service allowance. House Bill 69, coal-fired facility closures litigation funding amendments. House Bill 82, defendant mental illness examinations amendments. House Bill 97, Chancery Court jurisdiction amendments. House Bill 111, endangering children, fentanyl. House Bill 112, theft, penalty for fifth or subsequent offense. The chief clerk will call the roll.
On the consent list, Anderson? Aye. Baldwin? Aye. Barlow? Aye. Beitman? Aye. Boner? Aye. Bouchard? Aye. Brennan? Aye. Case? Aye. Cooper? Aye. Dockstetter? Aye. Ellis? Aye. French? Murphy? Guru? Hicks? Hutchings? Ide? Jones? Kinsky? Kolb? Landon? Larson? McEwen? Nethercott? Pappas? Rothfuss? Salazar? Schuler? Scott? Steinmetz? President Driscoll.
Aye.
On the consent list, 31 aye. House Bill 10, are there any changes? Scott? No? Aye? No? Closing vote. Closing. Vote closed. House Bill 10, 29 aye, 2 no. House Bill 12, are there any changes? Hutchings, aye to no. Bouchard? Aye to no. McEwen?
Aye to no.
Aye to no. Aye? Aye to no. Larson? Aye to no. French? Aye to no. Salazar? Aye to no. Closing vote. Closing. Vote closed. House Bill 12, 24 aye, 7 no. House Bill 24, are there any changes? Bouchard, aye to no. McEwen?
Aye to no.
Aye to no. Aye. Aye to no. Closing vote. Hutchings, aye to no. Larson, aye to no. Closing vote. Closing. Vote closed. House Bill 24, 26 aye, 5 no. House Bill 28, are there any changes? Bouchard, aye to no. Aye to no. Boner, aye to no. McEwen? Aye to no. Kolb? Aye to no. Hutchings, aye to no. Jones? Aye to no. Closing vote. Closing. Vote closed. House Bill 28. 25 aye, 6 no. House Bill 29, are there any changes? Aye? Aye to no. Closing vote. Closing. Vote closed. House Bill 29, 30 aye, 1 no. House Bill 35, are there any changes? Rothfuss?
Aye to no.
Aye to no. Closing vote. Closing. Vote closed. House Bill 35, 30 aye, 1 no. House Bill 39, are there any changes? Closing vote. Closing. Vote closed. House Bill 39, 31 aye. House Bill 41, are there any changes? Closing vote. Closing. Vote closed. House Bill 41, 31 aye. House Bill 45, are there any changes? Larson? Aye to no. Aye? Aye to no. Hutchings? Aye to no. Case? I to no. McEwen?
Aye to no.
I to no. Closing vote. Closing. Vote closed. House Bill 45, 26 aye, 5 no. House Bill 50, are there any changes? Closing vote. Closing. Vote closed. House Bill 50, 31 aye. House Bill 51, are there any changes? Bouchard, aye to no. Boner, aye to no. Case, aye to no. Hutchings, aye to no. Steinmetz, aye to no. Ide, aye to no. Salazar, no. Dockstetter, no. French, no. McEwen, no. Kolb, no. Brennan, no. Scott, no. Ellis, no. Murphy, no. Larson, no. Kinski, no. Baldwin, no. Nethercott, no. Hicks, no.
Landon, no.
Landon, no.
Driscoll, no.
Driscoll, no. Cooper, no. Jones, no. Beitman, no. Schuler, no. Guru, no. Closing vote. Closing. Vote closed. House Bill 51, 5 aye, 26 no.
Go team.
House Bill 69, are there any changes?
Rothfuss, I don't know.
Rothfuss, aye to no. Closing vote. Closing. Vote closed. House Bill 69, 30 aye, 1 no. House Bill 82, are there any changes? Closing vote. Closing. Vote closed. House Bill 82, 31 aye. House Bill 97, are there any changes? Closing vote. Closing. Vote closed. House Bill 97, 31 aye. House Bill 111, are there any changes? Rothfuss?
I don't know.
Aye to no. Guru, aye to no. Barlow, aye to no. Closing vote. Closing. Vote closed. House Bill 111, 28 aye, 3 no. And House Bill 112, are there any changes? Case, aye to no. Rothfuss?
I don't know.
Aye to no. Ellis? aye to no. Closing vote. Closing. Vote closed. House Bill 112, 28 aye, 3 no.
Having received the affirmative vote of the majority of members elected to the Senate, House Bill 10, County Officers, Bond Amounts and Surety Requirement, House Bill 12, Presumptive Child Support Amounts, Updated Tables, House Bill 24, State Investments, Compensation and Relocation Amendments, House Bill 28, Community College Capital Construction, House Bill 29, Community College Funding, Distance Education Credit Hours, House Bill 35, Daycare Certification Requirement Amendments, House Bill 39, Verifying the Veteran Designation on a Wyoming Driver's License, House Bill 41, Lightweight Trailers, Permanent Registration, House Bill 45, Peace Officer Retirement and Rehiring, House Bill 50, Solid Waste Cease and Transfer Programs Funding, House Bill 69, Coal-Fired Facility Closures Litigation Funding Amendments, House Bill 82, Defendant Mental Illness Examinations Amendments, House Bill 97, Chancery Court Jurisdiction Amendments, House Bill 111, Endangering Children, Fentanyl, and House Bill 112, Theft, Penalty for Fifth and Subsequent Offense, have passed the Senate. House Bill 104, having failed to receive the affirmative vote, no, that's wrong, excuse me. House Bill 51, having failed to receive the affirmative vote of majority of the members elected to the Senate, House Bill 51 has failed to pass the Senate. Bills on third reading. Senate File 50, third reading of the Senate file.
Senate File 50, Charter School Amendments, sponsored by the Education Committee, an act relating to charter schools.
Senator Hicks.
Mr. President, absent any objections, I would request that Senate File 50 Charter School Amendments be referred to your Committee Number 12 Rules.
Without objection, so ordered. House Bill 47, third reading of the House file.
House Bill 47, Election Equipment Federal Certification, sponsored by the Corporations Committee, an act relating to elections.
There is an amendment. We have the amendment read in.
House Bill 47, third reading amendments, number 1 to engrossed copy, delete.
Senator Beitman.
Mr. President, without objection, I would ask that House Bill 47 be laid back for one day. to work
Without objection, so ordered. House Bill 104, third reading of the House bill.
House Bill 104, engrossed, Hunting of Predatory Animals Amendments, sponsored by Representative Haroldson, an act relating to game and fish.
House Bill,
Mr.
Senator Landon.
Mr. President, absent objection, I would ask that House Bill 104 also be laid back for one day.
Without objection, so ordered. House Bill 1, third reading of the bill.
House Bill 1, General Government Appropriations, sponsored by the Appropriations Committee, an act relating to supplemental appropriations for the operation of state government for the fiscal biennium commencing July 1, 2022, and ending June 30, 2024.
Senator Kinski, we call on you for an explanation.
Thank you, Mr. President. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk a little bit first about the ground rules for the mirror budget process, because it's like no other way that we ever consider any legislation. This bill comes directly to third reading after the Appropriations Committee saw it. We don't actually vote on it. It goes directly to the floor. We got to look at the amendments, and now the amendments are out on the floor. Usually third reading is limited to not speaking more than twice for 5 minutes. Under our rules for the mirror budget bill, that does not apply to a walkthrough of the other house's budget, that is HB1. The rules say, upon passage by the House of Origin, that would be the House, a mirror budget bill shall be delivered directly to the second House for action without engrossing, but shall be accompanied by amendments. Then staff prepares a summary of those amendments. Those amendments are explained on the floor by a member of the Appropriations Committee designated by the chairman. That's me, but if I get in trouble, I ask latitude for other members to come and bail me out. After all third reading amendments have been considered, no third reading vote will be taken. It shall be out of order to propose any amendments. Instead, the bill shall be sent immediately to a joint conference committee appointed by the presiding officers of both houses. So it's a very different process. It was set up years ago just as a way of avoiding a lot of confusion from varying different budget bills floating through the system. It is restrictive in terms of what we can do on third reading, and that's regrettable, but that's something that we might talk about in the future. So let me kind of give you a high-level difference between the Senate File 1 and House Bill 1. First of all, the numbers I'm about to give you exclude the $160 million that we have found cash, because that's one of the biggest differences between us. These numbers also don't include the $65 million that's in the Wyoming Tomorrow's bill, which is a huge bill, nor the $30 million that's in Water 3, nor the $30 million that's in the Wyoming Freedom scholarships, nor the $10 million that's in the school crosswalk. So this is just Senate File 1 to House Bill 1. Net, the House saved $300 million in permanent savings. The Senate saved $1 billion. In addition to the governor's recommendations, the House spent, not including the $160 million, the House spent $36 million general fund. The Senate spent $26 million general fund. You'll recall that we voted ultimately for that $160 million to go to the governor's special projects fund. The House, however, chose to transfer $100 million to the Permanent Mineral Trust Fund corpus, used $5 million for the shooting complex, and saved $5 million. That's just kind of a high-level overview from the big dollar perspectives of where we are. So again, there's some bills floating out there that can still make a huge difference. So now you have two sheets of paper. One is an 8.5 by 11, and one is a very large stapled report. The 8.5 by 11 is actually the standing committee report. It's indecipherable. Fortunately, we have the larger sheet of paper that will tell us exactly what the standing committee report says. So if you start with this large sheet, upper left-hand corner, it says Standing Committee Summary Sheet. House position ordered by identical, related, and unrelated, and then by agency. We start with the identical amendments. Under the mirror budget rules, any amendments that are identical are off the table in the Joint Conference Committee. That's a done deal, unless the Joint Conference Committee report fails and we go to a free committee. Then they can be reopened. The first is the $26,000 for the Education Commission. Next is $350,000 for weekend opening of the Capitol. Next is the $412,000 for the Thyra Thompson building is not to be expended on any other purpose. Next, the two positions for the DEQ are to be included in their standard budget. I think they were one time and we were told that wouldn't work. Next, both houses put in $8.6 million general fund for WildLink. Next, both houses agreed on a $20,000 study of the PACE program. Next is $500,000 for high behavioral health needs. Next is just a technical amendment on the mineral royalty grant program. Next is $300,000 to the SER at UW for high-grade graphite research. Next is $22 million that gets the ECA to the $70.4 million, which was the governor's rec. And then finally, the most odd number I've ever seen in a budget, $958,085, which was calculated to bring the Wildlife Trust Challenge account to its target of exactly $200 million. So those are off the table. Next, we go to a series of amendments that are related. First, it says 3046, those are technical amendments. We'll skip over those. The next, 2002, this is where Senator Hicks's amendment to survey state employees about employment was replaced with a footnote that says survey state employees about child care. The next, 2023, these both positions are nearly identical, except that the House added something about the funds being contingent upon passage of the charter school bill. This is $280,000 for a position. Next, H3034. In our action, we reduced Wyoming's tomorrow by $40 million. The House put $2.5 million into a Wyoming's tomorrow expenditure account. Sorry about that. Page 2. $2024 was ultimately reversed. This is Obermuller and Steinmetz, Kinski. Let's just ignore that one. Ultimately, it's reversed. Now we come down to 3036, and you see a whole series of transactions. Let me tell you what the House did there. So what they were trying to do is to get into the school foundation program money that can be invested in both equities and bonds. What was in there before is money that came, for instance, from the Common School Public Land Fund. Those monies are restricted just to bonds, which you know what those earn. So they traded money so that this cash in the school foundation program could be invested for a higher rate of return. That's the net of all of that. And then in the end, they put $150 million in the Common School Public Land Fund corpus and $350 million in the Common School Public Land Fund reserve account. And that's the big difference between us. The next, 3043, they transferred $274 million into the Permanent Mineral Trust reserve account. Next, this is 3015. This is that $160 million. We ultimately put the $160 million back into the governor's large project fund. What they did is $150 million went to the Permanent Mineral Trust Fund corpus, $5 million went to the shooting complex, $5 million was saved. Next is 2025. This is the school CapCon footnote. The House footnote says that expenditure of the $100 million is contingent upon action by the legislature, with $5 million to finish the study in terms of condition. Now we go to amendments that are unrelated. 3001. This is brand new to us. It's $40,000 for an increase to be used for the Chief Technology Officer in the Treasurer's Office. Next, 2032, you'll recall that there was a position that the Department of Revenue asked for somebody to administer the property tax release program. They added that back in. 2033, this is interesting. So this was $5 million originally intended to fund a larger enhanced tax refund program. You'd think that it would be used up because we passed a fairly large tax relief bill. But the footnote says it's to be used to help fund refunds. The bill we passed out was a rate reduction. So it's not actually using much of that money. It did use $200,000 of that because I believe it's the House has a deferral program, which meets the criteria of the footnote. Next, 2007, they added another $6 million to the Wyoming Cultural Trust Fund, bringing the total to $12 million. Okay, next, 3034. It says they reduced a position in the state engineer's office. They left, excuse me, did I say wrong? 3044. They left the money there because the engineer indicated they were going to use a contractor. So they didn't need the FTE, but they left the money for the Colorado River study. H3004. This is pulling the state engineer's office off of the general fund and funding it out of water account 1. And that's been a sort of a perennial tug of war between the House and Senate. I'll go down to 3027. That's just a technical change, a language clarification. 3007 is a $100,000 study for rebasing for DD clients. 2043. This is funds for the Protective Services and Juvenile Justice Unit. Originally, I thought this was the local juvenile justice programs. It's not. It's a different program, I believe, a federal program that I've got more information here somewhere. I just don't have it readily at hand. But 3006. This is the swap of one position in the state lands for a land person for a public information officer. You'll recall I lost that one twice. They did better than I did, which is okay. 2016, they added back the economist for the School of Energy Resources. 2018, a study of in-person classes in Cheyenne and Rock Springs for UW. 3028 is $10 million for a physician's assistant program that the university did not ask for. 2020 adds the position to the Supreme Court for a full-time lawyer for federal compliance. 2021 makes the two positions at the Supreme Court we said were to be one-time permanent. 2008, they put the police officer back into the gaming commission that we struck out. 3037, $3.5 million for the community colleges for inflation. So what this is, if your community college has a project, the state's funding half and you're funding half locally. The governor's inflation adjustment funded the 50% the state was putting in, but didn't fund the other 50% that the locals were putting in. So this is $3.5 million to help the locals out with their share of the inflation. Finally, 3017, $10 million for infrastructure for affordable housing needs. We need a clarification, assuming that stays, it's unknown if that's one time or ongoing. The note is silent. The first thought is, why can't that come out of ARPA? And in fact, the House has the ARPA bill and they have put $5 million in there for affordable housing. You'll notice that some positions were added back as I went through that. Net, the House added back 3 positions. JAC had 17. The House added 3 for 20. We held at the 17 that it came out of the JAC with. With that, I'll stand for questions. Or
Good job. Senator Barlow. Took me a while to get someone up.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So I just want to clarify, I did understand the permanent savings as 300 million versus 1 billion, House to Senate. Would the good chairman maybe outline, and I tried to sum it as we went, but what the difference is in reserve accounts? I think you mentioned reserve accounts at least a couple of times, and I just wondered if you had any final or total numbers on reserve accounts that would be also associated with either the permanent Mount Wyoming Mineral Trust Fund or the Common School Land Fund. Again, Mr. Chairman, reserve accounts. Thank you.
Thank you. Further questions? Senator Kinski.
So you'll recall that we moved money out of the reserve accounts to the permanent. The House instead put 300 million into 150 million into the Public Land Fund corpus and the PMTAF corpus. They also moved 630 million to the reserve accounts in aggregate.
Thank you. Further questions? Further questions? Senator Dockstader.
Thank you. For clarification on H 30115, so we canceled our energy money, put it into permanent mineral trust, but canceled the earlier funds that we'd put into the permanent mineral trust, 150, canceled those. If I could add 2 or 3 others here, school capital construction, that's all delayed for a year. And then that's on H 205, and then on H 3028, the third page, 10 million for physicians assistants. I believe that's something we turned down previously every year. Some thoughts on those 3 matters.
Senator Kinski.
I caught the physician's assistants. I was fumbling through the papers trying to find the others, but standing up a PA program at the university is one that we've previously tussled over, and ultimately it was not funded. And then I tried to catch the other one.
Senator Baldwin.
Just add some clarification on that PA one. We discussed that. We discussed it with the university. It was decided that really is not a feasible thing to do here. There are other alternatives, and that is one that's come up for at least 4 years, I believe, at least. So it has been discussed in depth, discussed with the university, and it's one that we keep saying no.
Thank you. Senator Dockstader.
The other 2 questions regarding school capital construction, page 2, H205. That's, from what I can tell, if I'm reading that right, it's delayed out another year. Nothing goes forward. And then the energy money under H3015, that's gone away again as well.
Senator Kinski.
So with respect to 3025, excuse me, page 2, H2025, is that correct? The Senate's note removed specific reference to the 2 school districts, left 100 million in, and said construction could proceed by the School Facilities Commission once they had the study and they determined which ones were the priority. The House instead, as indicated here in the far right, they removed the specific reference to the 2 schools, left the 100 million in. They designated 5 million of that towards this, finishing the study. And then they also provided that construction was contingent upon further legislative action. So that's the difference between the House and the Senate there.
Thank you.
I think then on 3015, you were asking, I think, about the 160 million that ultimately went to the governor's large project fund. You will see that it was taken out there, but subsequently, let me see, we ultimately put it back. This is just the House amendments. We struck it out. They took 150 million, put it into PMTF corpus, 5 million to the shooting complex, saved 5 million. So it's not showing all the this doesn't compare and contrast all of the action, but we know on the Senate side, the Steinmetz amendment struck the 160 million, not showing here as a subsequent amendment by Dockstetter that gave the 160 million back to the governor. So we're just seeing that, we're just seeing House action, and then the Steinmetz amendment is struck out on here. The staff puts that in because it's related, you know, what happened to the 160 million.
Senator Steinmetz.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just a little bit more explanation on page 2 of 3, 3004, the Stith Amendment relating to the Board of Control and the general fund versus water development funds. Just a little more explanation. It looks like they're adding that back to their total, but when you were explaining things, I thought we said that was not included, but I might have missed something. So if you could just explain that a little further, thank you.
If I may, I'm going to defer to Senator Hicks, who has been neck deep in this back and forth with the state engineer's office funding.
Mr. Chairman, the net effect of the is it would move all of the Board of Control, which is on a biennial budget, is $14,258,827. That's their current standard budget. It moves all that back on to water account 1. And what you see is in the next footnote down there, it adds footnote number 5, which specifies general fund appropriation reductions to $7,154,000. That's for this next fiscal year. So one of them makes it a permanent change back to Water 1, and then the other one says that we're going to move that back for this supplemental budget for 1 year. That goes back on Water 1 too. Mr. Chairman, that looks like the net effect of the 2 footnotes, number 3 and number 4.
Thank you. Further questions? Senator Landon.
Mr. President, thank you. I want to, if I could go back to the House Amendment 2025 on the school capital construction. I apologize for riding a little bit slower horse this morning. I know that we considered an amendment on this side as well, but I could use a little help understanding the $5 million set aside for consulting services. I guess I thought that we were already underway with a statewide assessment of our schools. We had put that off. We have indicated to ourselves that we want to do that about every 5 years. That we're going on 6 or 7 years now, but my understanding was we were all set with that. In fact, I thought we maybe were even underway doing it. A little help knowing what that $5 million figure is for. Thank you.
Senator Kinski.
If I could fully understand the intentions of the House and their amendments, I'd probably be on Wall Street somewhere doing very well for myself. Senator, you know what I know for administrative costs and consulting services. And I was told that that related to the condition study. I guess we'll find out in Joint Conference Committee more in terms of what they intended.
Senator Grew.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just to try to clarify a little bit, what I heard from the other side about the $5 million was it was to help conditioning capacity study, and actually with an eye towards the 2 school districts that were previously called out. But that was a little vague, but that was what I got from it.
Thank you. Further questions? Senator Hutchins.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. If you would, on page 1, 2002, at the bottom of the page, where they replaced the footnote, supposedly this was $5,000 for a survey to find out if state employees would want to relocate. And somehow, some way, it's changed to childcare for state employees. Can you explain what happened there, if possible? Thank you.
Senator Hicks. Oh, okay, not Hicks. Senator Grew.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As you recall, our amendment on there was $5,000 for a study about relocation. The House just changed it to a $5,000 study on childcare. That's just, yeah, okay. Further information available.
Senator Nethercott.
Thank you, Mr. President. I think if I am understanding how staff prepares this, the reason why those two are together isn't that one cancels the other out. Both are there. They're simply listed there together because they're related in substance. They both do surveys. And so the staff put that together simply for the purpose that they do surveys, but the House did not change our amendment or that effort. So the survey for state employees to move is still in the budget bill, but the House put one of their own amendments on for child care. Separate issues, but together on this presentation.
Further questions? Other questions? Seeing none. Chairman Kinski.
Privilege of the floor.
Granted.
I was blessed to work with 2 appropriations committees last year and a new one this year. I've had 2 good teams to work with, and I'd appreciate a hand for all those appropriators that helped put the budget together and get us this far.
Hear, hear. Senator Case. Oh, excuse me. Okay. Once again, a huge thank you. There being no further discussion on House Bill 1 in accordance to Joint Rule 14-1G and Joint Rule 14-1H, House Bill 1 is referred directly to a Conference Committee of 5 members from each House to meet to resolve the differences between the Houses with respect to both budget bills, Senate File 1 and House Bill 1. Conference Committee will be Driscoll Chairman, Salazar, Anderson, Nethercott, and Guru. We will stand at ease to prepare for general file. I do. I can read those in while we're doing that. That will work. Senator Larson.
Privilege, please.
Granted.
Thank you. I'd like to introduce teacher Doug Sickens, and he's brought with him some students from Cedar Grove Christian Home School Co-op. Their government class from my hometown of Powell, and they're up above, up here. And thank you for being here.
Senator Anderson.
Mr. President, privilege of the floor.
Granted.
While we're congratulating and thanking everyone, I think we should congratulate and thank the chairman of the committees this year. They did an incredible job of getting us through so far. I think they should stand and be recognized.
Hear, hear. House Bill 101, first reading of the House file.
House Bill 101, Uniform Trust Code Amendments, sponsored by Representative Crago, an act relating to trust, passed the House, ayes 62.
House Bill 101 is referred to Committee Number 1, Judiciary. House Bill 89, first reading of the House bill.
House Bill 89 engrossed, State Investment Returns Adequate Reserve Funding, sponsored by the Capital Finance Committee, an act relating to the investment of state funds.
House Bill 89 is referred to Committee Number 2, Appropriations. House Bill 195, first reading of the House Bill.
House Bill 195 engrossed, American Rescue Plan Act Appropriations Amendments, sponsored by the Appropriations Committee, an act relating to the emergency expenses of government, passed the House, ayes 38, noes 24.
House Bill 195 is referred to Committee Number 2, Appropriations. House Bill 208, first reading of the House Bill.
House Bill 208, School Foundation Program Reserve Account Investments, sponsored by the House Appropriations Committee. Passed the House, ayes 58, noes 4.
House Bill 208 is referred to Committee Number 2, Appropriations. House Bill 118, first reading of the House Bill.
House Bill 118 engrossed, Volunteer Firefighter Pension Funding, sponsored by Representative Newsom. Passed the House, ayes 48, noes 14.
House Bill 118. House Bill 118 is referred to Committee Number 3, Revenue. House Bill 188, first reading of the House Bill.
House Bill 188 engrossed, Wolf Depredation Compensation, sponsored by Representative Winter. Passed the House, ayes 58, noes 4.
House Bill 188 is referred to Committee Number 5, Agriculture. House Bill 200, first reading of the House Bill.
House Bill 200, Non-Resident Hunting Licenses Application Fees, sponsored by Representative Northrup. Passed the House, ayes 43 and noes 19.
House Bill 200 is referred to Committee Number 5, Agriculture. House Bill 222, first reading of the House Bill.
House Bill 222 engrossed, Colorado River Advisory Committee, sponsored by Representative Summers. Passed the House, ayes 53, noes 9.
House Bill 222 is referred to Committee Number 5, Agriculture. House Joint Resolution 3, first reading of the House Joint Resolution.
House Joint Resolution 3, Wild Horses and Burros Best Management Practices, sponsored by Representative Winter. Passed the House, ayes 57, noes 5.
House Joint Resolution 3 is referred to Committee Number 5, Agriculture. House Bill 276, first reading of the House Bill.
House Bill 276 engrossed, Shed Antlers and Horns Conservation Stamp, sponsored by Representative Wiley. Passed the House, ayes 39, noes 23.
House Bill 276, referred to Committee Number 6, Travel. House Bill 279, first reading of the House Bill.
House Bill 279, Voter Identification Requirements, sponsored by Representative Knapp. Passed the House, ayes 55, noes 7.
House Bill 279 is referred to Committee Number 7, Corporations. House Bill 38, first reading of the House Bill.
House Bill 38 engrossed, Wyoming National Guard member referral, sponsored by the Transportation Committee. Passed the House, ayes 41, noes 21.
House Bill 38 is referred to Committee Number 8, Transportation. House Bill 154, second reading of the House Bill.
House Bill 154 engrossed, Permanent Vehicle Registration, sponsored by Representative Banks. Passed the House, ayes 39, noes 23.
House Bill 154 is referred to Committee Number 8, Transportation. House Bill 108, first reading of the House Bill.
House Bill 108 engrossed, Sale of THC vaping devices and edibles to minors prohibited, sponsored by Representative Summers. Passed the House, ayes 55, noes 5, excused 2.
House Bill 108 is referred to Committee Number 10, Labor Health. Mr. Majority Floor Leader. We're at that order of business, consideration of bills on general file.
Mr. President, I move the Senate resolve itself into Committee of the Whole.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Senator Brennan, please come forward.
Yeah.
Do we need a? The committee of the whole will please come to order. All right, the reading clerk will please read in House Bill 160.
House Bill 160 engrossed, driver's license veterans designation replacing DD Form 214, sponsored by Representative Pendercraft, an act relating to Defense Forces and Affairs. It was referred to Committee Number 8, which returned a committee recommendation that it do pass. Ayes Senators Boner, Brennan, Furphy, Kolb, and Pappas. Senator Boner, Chairman.
You've heard the reading of the bill. What is your pleasure? Is that right? Okay. Oh, sorry. Senator Boner.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move that when the Committee of the Whole rises to report, do so with a favorable recommendation on House Bill 160. To explain the bill, I have referred my committee from Sweetwater County.
Senator Kolb.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. As explained in the bill title, this act will allow veterans to present their driver's licenses or identification cards as proof of their veteran status as specified, providing an effective date. The bill, page 2, line 1 and to 4, it says shall allow the person to present their Wyoming's driver license or identification card instead of a military form DD-214 as proof of their status as veterans. And this just simplifies and streamlines the process for this purpose. And I would stand for any questions, Madam Chairman.
Senator Hutchings.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Quick question on the DD Form 214. It's one of the most precious documents that a veteran owns. How are they planning to incorporate that into the driver's license? Is that V status on the driver's license gonna somehow, some way, or the driver's license itself incorporate all the information on the DD 214 and have it on the driver's license? Thank you, Madam Chair.
Senator Pappas.
Madam Chair, just to answer that question, no, all the information on the DD from the DD 214 is not going to be incorporated into the driver's license. All the driver's license does is verify if you're a veteran or not a veteran. The actual requirement right now is that the Veterans Commission will take the information from the veteran, verify that they are an eligible veteran, and then give that information to the folks that are making our driver's license, to the driver services, and they will then put it on there. All we're doing here is cutting out that step. There's really no reason for the Veterans Commission to do all the paperwork and put that step in it, because the driver services are fully capable of understanding what a DD 214 is. So all you have to do is present the DD 214, then you get that designation on the license. And furthermore, if anybody wants to verify someone is a retired veteran that has had an honorable discharge. The statute says that that designation on the license plate is verification. So it's a simplified process, but to the question, no, there is no DD 214 information on the driver's license.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Yeah, it's just a portable, you want to call it a portable DD 214. So you don't have to haul around all that paperwork once you establish that in your driver's license. So it's more made for portability and convenience. Thank you, Madam Chairman.
Sensing you are ready for the question, all those in favor of Senator Boner's motion that when the committee of the whole rise to report that it do so with a favorable recommendation, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed? House Bill 116 has passed committee of the whole. The next bill for our consideration is House Bill 179. Will the reading clerk please read in the bill? Oh, yes. Oh, sorry. House Bill 79 has passed committee of the whole. No, the next bill for our consideration is 79. Woo.
House Bill 79, engrossed, voter ID concealed carry permit, sponsored by Representative Cragel, an act relating to elections, was referred to Committee Number 6, which returned a committee recommendation that it do pass. Ayes, Senators Baldwin, Ellis, Jones, and Schuler. Noes, Senator Garou. Senator Schuler, Chairman.
You have heard the reading of the bill. What is your pleasure? Senator Schuler.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I move that when the Committee of the Whole rises to report it, do so with the recommendation that House Bill 79 do pass. This bill probably looks a little familiar, and so we're going to have Senator Hutchings do all the important stuff on this bill. Thank you.
Senator Hutchings.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like the body to know that in no way did Representative Cragel and myself collaborate to present a mirror bill to you. It just seems, Madam Chair, as if something happened and LSO did not contact either of us to let us know that we both had the same exact bill. So this bill, House Bill 79, is exactly like Senate File 86. So unless you want more information, it's just the ability to use your concealed carry ID as while you vote. That's it, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Senator Reitman.
Thank you, Madam Chair. That same thing happened to me too with one of my bills, and I was curious as the rules changed with LSO letting you know that somebody's already ran this particular bill, because the bill that I run every year dealing with voting had the same issue. Somebody ran it at the other end of the hall, and it used to not be a thing, but now I guess it's a thing. So maybe a little bit more discussion on that.
Senator Hicks.
Yeah, Madam Chairman, I hope I can answer that. It's been a long-standing tradition with LSO. If there's two bills very similar, they typically notify each one of the things. I would just ask you that we've got a lot of new attorneys. Just give them a little grace. Sometimes people make mistakes or we miss things like all of us. I think this was just the case in this particular instance. Madam Chairman, if we pass this, we can always provide an amendment that specifies what bill controls in a second reading amendment. But Madam Chairman, I don't think there was anything nefarious. This was just something that happened in the process. So.
Senator Case.
So, Madam Chairwoman, I think we should be discussing this under point of order. It's not really about the bill, but
The point of order I would make is that when you request a bill draft, LSO asks you if you waive your privilege or not. And I suspect that might be the connection here, that if you don't waive your privilege, then they take everything you do and keep it close to the, they're kind of acting as your attorney in that instance. So even though they may know that two people have the same bill, if one of them has not waived his privilege, that could be the source of this. So I suspect LSO is all over it. On the issue of what to do about this bill, so I note that this body passed a really good bill on the exact same subject, and it has not been referred to a committee on the other side yet. And I'm wondering if we might want to think about that a little bit, maybe hold this bill to make sure that our good Senate bills get appropriate consideration.
Senator Hutchings.
Madam
And then
Chair,
Senator
I
Anson.
concur with that comment. Thank you.
Senator Rothfuss.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I'm for the bill, but I do think it would probably be most expeditious to have the sponsor of the last one we worked through go chat with the sponsor of this one, figure out which horse to ride across the finish line. I don't think it's contentious. The only problem could be if we end up with an amendment on one, we pass them both, and they're non-conformed, that causes problems. So we really do want to finish just one and then have the other one find its way to a re-referral to a committee.
Senator Kinski.
My apologies to my Sheridan County colleague. I was contacted by my Johnson County colleague about signing on, and it didn't occur to me that we'd be stepping on a bill you'd previously run. I would have assumed that had all been checked out, but my apologies.
Thank you. Great. Senator Schuler.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I just wanted to add a little background that both the Secretary of State's office supported this bill. I assume they did on the other bill. And also we had the county clerks, they came in also and supported this bill. So I think whichever bill goes forward, we've got good support from our agencies. Thank you.
Senator Ellis.
Madam Chair, just to echo some of the comments made, I had concerns about the mirror bill. I get kind of grumpy about that. Looking at the speed at which we're doing our work compared to, other entities, I think it's appropriate for us to pass this bill. This is the right thing to do. Let's focus on what this bill does. Let's get it done. That's what the people of Wyoming elect us to do, so vote aye.
All right. The question has been called. All those in favor of Senator Schuler's motion that when the committee of the whole rises to report that it do so with a favorable recommendation, say aye. Aye. Those opposed? All right. House Bill 79 has passed the committee of the whole. The next bill for our consideration is House Bill 57. Will the reading clerk please read in the bill?
House Bill 57, Armed Forces Amendments, sponsored by Representative Brown, an act relating to defense forces and affairs, was referred to Committee Number 8, which returned a committee recommendation that it do pass amended. Ayes, Senators Boner, Brennan, Furphy, Kolb, and Pappas. Senator Boner, Chairman.
You have heard the reading of the bill. What is your pleasure? Oh, do you want the amendment read in this time?
Nope.
Oh. You want a mic? Senator Boner.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move that when the committee of the whole rises to report, do so with a favorable recommendation of House Bill 57. There is a standing committee amendment.
House Bill 57, Standing Committee Amendment Number 1, page 2, lines 20 through 22, delete.
I move Standing Committee Amendment Number 1 to House Bill 57. We'll just go and proceed with the explanation. Ladies and gentlemen, what this bill does is a few things. First of all, it updates our statutes to reflect that we have a new branch of service called the Space Force. So we want to make sure that all of the due consideration given to our military members, our veterans, is given to the folks who serve in that branch of service. as well. Also, it makes a more obvious distinction between the armed forces and uniformed services, ensures compliance with Title 10 of federal code, which is important, especially as you consider our National Guard. Sometimes they get called up under Title 10. So getting into the specifics, you'll see there on page 2, really that's kind of the meat of the bill, if you will. Armed forces are what you would generally consider to be the military. Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine Corps, now Space Force, and the Coast Guard. Uniformed services is a slightly broader category, including the armed forces, but also includes the Commission Corps of the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA. They have offices in Riverton and Cheyenne, and the Commission Corps of the Public Health Service, and really anybody designated by the President during a time of war or emergency. So this is all standard language with the addition of the Space Force. And so what the remainder of the bill is, Madam Chair, is just conforming amendments, making that distinction and that reference back to Title 8. So I'll just go briefly through all the different statutes that this bill touches on, keeping in mind that we're not really making a substantive change within these titles. So Title 19 on page 3 deals with protection of military members, and that's consistent all the way through page 8. Get into Title 19 to talk about Homeland Security. On the bottom of page 9, you have a tuition for veterans. You get on to page 11, in the Title 20, that's talking about dissolution of marriage. Going on to the next page, Title 21, you start talking about education, tuition benefits, and things like that. Go on to page 14, Title 23 is dealing with game and fish and hunting and fishing licenses. Title 33, starting on page 15, is dealing with licensure. We have special provisions in our licensure statutes for military members or their spouses. Going on to page 17, Title 35 is a fire protection account. Title 39 at the bottom of page 17 deals with property tax and the exemptions we give for veterans who have served overseas in a time of war. On to page 19, Title 42 deals with the DD waivers program and how you deal with folks who are in the process of PCSing. So that's the bill, pretty straightforward. We want to acknowledge the service of our Space Force members and veterans. Certainly stand for any questions.
Questions? Okay.
Okay, so that's the bill. We have a technical correction on the bottom of page 2. Basically, we want to make sure that the National Guard is in fact included in armed forces. That was an oversight on the other side of the building, and certainly, so we're just deleting lines 20 through 22, acknowledging that.
Hang on, just 1 minute.
Yeah, we moved it already. Yeah, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Anyways.
Go ahead.
So just recognizing that National Guard, reserves, and auxiliary components are in fact, they're included in the armed forces definition, so we're good there. So all that we're doing is deleting lines 20 through 22. So I'll stand for questions on the amendment.
All those in favor of Senator Boner's motion to adopt the Standing Committee Amendment Number 1 to House Bill 57, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? The motion to adopt the Standing Committee Amendment 1 to House Bill 57 has passed. We're back on the bill.
Stand for your questions.
Okay. All those in favor of Senator Boner's motion that when the committee whole rises to report that it do so with a favorable recommendation of House Bill 57, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? House Bill 57 has passed Committee of the Whole. Senator Hicks.
Madam Chairman, just a little preview of what we're going to do is have a little extended lunch here today. We're going to let the committees work over the noon hour. We'll come back at 2 o'clock and we'll work. There's a couple of more, a number of House bills that are working through the system right now that we're not ready to hear in Committee of the Whole. We'll be back up here at 2 o'clock. But with that, Madam Chairman, I move the Committee of the Whole beg leave and rise to set again.
You heard the motion. All in favor, say aye.
Perfect. Well done. No, those opposed say no.
Those, those opposed say no.
Motion.
The motion passes.
Reports from standing committees.
February 9, 2023, Mr. President, Committee Number 7, Corporations, Elections, and Political Subdivisions, to whom was referred House Bill 7 engrossed, underage marriage amendments, respectfully report same back to the Senate with a recommendation that it do pass. Ayes, Senators Barlow, Boner, Case, and Scott. Excused, Senator Landon. Senator Case, Chairman. February 9, 2023, Mr. President, Committee Number 2, Appropriations, to whom is referred House Bill 93 engrossed, Omnibus Water Bill Construction. Respectfully report same back to the Senate with a recommendation that it do pass amended. Ayes, Senators Anderson, Guru, and Salazar. Excused, Senators Kinski and Nethercott. Senator Kinski, Chairman. February 9, 2023, Mr. President, Committee Number 6, Travel, Recreation, Wildlife, and Cultural Resources, to whom is referred House Bill 15, County Authority to Dissolve Museum Boards Clarification. Respectfully report same back to the Senate with a recommendation that it do pass. Ayes, Senators Baldwin, Ellis, Guru, Jones, and Schuler. Senator Schuler, Chairman. February 9, 2023, Mr. President, Committee Number 6, Travel, Recreation, Wildlife, and Cultural Resources, to whom is referred House Bill 147 engrossed, unlawful trespass signage, taking of wildlife. Respectfully report same back to the Senate with a recommendation that it do pass. Ayes, Senators Baldwin, Ellis, Guru, Jones, and Schuler. Senator Schuler, Chairman.
Thank you. Quick note, everybody, members of the Senate, Mark Quiner, Wyoming's liaison from the National Conference of State Legislatures, is here today to visit with legislators about NCSL services. Mark is also a former staff member of our LSO, a great guy, really a good one. Wyoming legislation pays dues to NCSL, and your organization has a wealth of resources to help with your legislative work. Mr. Quiner will be in the back of the Senate this afternoon to answer any questions about NCSL service or requests for information. Please stop by and say hi if you've got a few minutes. NCSL is a great place if you're looking for help on research on bills, looking at what happened in other states. They do numbers of trainings if you're interested. I've got a list of them. They're great trainings. They're a great organization. Senator Pappas is going to end up being the liaison, so you can deal with him as well. But they're a good organization, and where we pay dues for all of these, and there's numbers of them, I encourage you to use them. We pay money to have them there, and they're great organizations, and Mark's a phenomenal good guy. So, Senator Pappas.
Privilege of the floor.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to mention to the members of the new members of the body, I do have NCSL material that I will be bringing for new members to introduce you to NCSL. So I'll be bringing those. I was planning on bringing those towards the end of the session, and encourage folks to attend the legislative summit that'll happen this summer. So thank you, Mr. President.
Perfect, thank you. Mr. Majority Floor Leader, that clears the desk.
Mr. President, I move the Senate stand and recess until 2 p.m.
Okay, announcements. Senator Beitman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Your committee number 3, Revenue, will meet at noon in W6 to take up the following 3 House bills. House Bill 100 engrossed, Acquisition Value Study, House Bill 213 engrossed, Energy Production Inventory Exemption, and House Bill 229 engrossed, Electronic Payment of Sales and Use Taxes.
Senator Baldwin.
Thank you, Mr. President. Your Committee 10, Labor, Health, and Social Services, will meet on Monday morning at 7 a.m. to hear House Bill 81 engrossed, Hospital Supplemental Payment Statutory Fix, House Bill 119, Medical Prescriptions Off-Label Purposes, that's a continuation. House Bill 65, 988, Suicide Prevention, also a continuation. And Healthcare Facilities and Clergy, House Bill 127. Also, I would make the announcement next Wednesday at noon during the lunch hour in room 6 downstairs. I've arranged with the Board of Pharmacy to do a special presentation on fentanyl.
We've had a lot of discussion about it. Anyone, staff, all legislators will be invited. I highly suggest that it will be very informative.
Thank you. Senator Steinmetz.
Thank you, Mr. President. Your committee number 5, Ag, State and Public Lands and Water Resources, will meet today upon adjournment, and I've been notified that will probably be early, around 3:30 or 4 o'clock, so everybody out there listening know we'll probably adjourn a little early today. We will be considering House Bill 21, State Lands Use of Land Qualification Requirements, and House Bill 22, State Land Lease Deficiencies and Cure Process will be in room W2 and online. Thank you.
Senator Landon.
Mr. President, your Committee 1 Judiciary will meet at 8 a.m. Monday to take up the following 3 bills. House Bill 145, Disclosure of Sensitive Information, Law Enforcement. House Bill 96, Engrossed, Transfer on Death Deed Insurance Coverage. And House Bill 90, Engrossed, Sex Offender Registration Requirements. Again, that's on Monday. Those were previously announced for Friday morning. We will carry those over and take them up at 8 o'clock on Monday morning.
Thank you, Senator. Committee number 12, Rules, will meet on noon recess to review the Wyoming Manual of Legislative Procedures with the similar committee in the House. So if any of you want to watch paint dry, you can come over and watch. Senator Dockstader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Your Committee number 9, Minerals, will meet Monday upon noon recess to hear House Bill 190, Wyoming Value Added Energy and Industrial Plan. Thank you.
Thank you. You've heard the motion. All in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. Senate will stand recessed till 2 p.m.